Welcome everyone to the Circle Debate Podcast, top 5 picks of the week here for week 42, 42. This is the host of Devious One here alongside with my family, the West faction, D-Generation West. That is, of course, we have the one and only. He is a director, the one and only, ladies and gentlemen, CK1, Chris.
That's me.
And of course, if you guys did see the episode this past Friday, we did release the second version of the Wrestling Guys Store commercial. I hope everybody enjoyed that commercial. And comment below on our IG. Let us know what your thoughts are. We'd like to have your feedback. Let us know. Give us your thoughts. Even on our YouTube channel, let us know. And also, I want to go ahead and introduce the callous of all calluses. He is
the biggest Dr. Scholl's. They got nothing on him.
Say the line, man.
No, it's all a part of that next level consciousness that we have. You see, Chris, you make commercials, we make history here at Circle of Debate, and at Circle of Debate, it's part of that next level consciousness. You see, when you take ants and maggots, what do? They try to reproduce and eat food and mill about. But we're above that level of consciousness. They can't even comprehend Tolstoy, much less Toy Story.
Did you make that up?
Sounds like he did.
We're gods amongst insects.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And there you go,
like say it with me. We don't make a podcast. We make history here.
That's a shirt right there.
That's a shirt, yes. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. That is like Mr. MGC. Matthew Callis, Steamboat Elias, and Fergalicious. That's what.
Of course, anything's possible. I'm the cutest in the world.
Oh my god!
You are super kawaii.
If you think that MGC
kawaii.
Is cute,
kawaii too.
Those that watch this podcast, comment below on our channel. Let us know. We will like.
Wait, I got it. Ready? No. If you think MGC is cute, ignore this podcast and don't leave a comment.
Chris, like anything's possible because it's all part of the plan. We make history here.
Well, let me introduce your client, okay? Because this is your client right here, okay? So
of course.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, he is a multi-time recording artist, a graduate from Cal State Dominguez Hills. He is a 2018 Los Angeles Karaoke World Champion. He also lives 1,977,000 miles from Winnipeg, Minnesota, Canada. He is the master disaster, the king of sting, the man with the plan. And ladies and gentlemen, that is Money Mike Lopez.
I've got sunglasses on top of my glasses, and I'm feeling good.
I think
we go.
I think we all had.
I do that when I drive.
I think it's a sunglasses day today, huh? Everybody's wearing the sunglasses.
Yeah, here we go.
See, Mike is Mike is a god of podcasting. You see, Joe Rogan doesn't even come in a close third place compared to Mike Lopez.
We're just waiting on Chris to wear his. Where's your 4 minutes of heat glasses?
Oh, they're in the other room. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, there we go.
I moved them.
Chris doesn't need glasses. It's that next level. It's that part of that next level consciousness that we accomplish here. At Circle of Debate.
I'm letting you down.
We're gods amongst insects.
God's munching sticks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and spin off. So our top 5 of the week for week 42 is the wheel chose top 5 worst pay-per-views. So let's go ahead and share my screen so I can show you who's going to be going first on that wheel of names. Wheel of names! So let's go to that wheel, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and there we have it. Let's see who goes first.
Oh, no.
And that is all the callous.
That teased me. I thought that was me.
Let me erase his name. Oh, my God. MGC. Looks like you go. All right.
You're out of here. Or whatever the kids say.
Well,
is yours.
You see, when we make history with these top 5s, it's all planned years in advance, maybe 20 years in advance. And I'll mention, pay-per-views that didn't quite make the cut. They're not even worthy of the pay-per-views that the history I make in New Japan when I had Chris Jericho against Kenny Omega. But what we're going to do is we're going to list 5. It's not even worthy of a honorable mention. So I guess I'm not even going to bother giving you too many details on them or what year they were. I'll tell you, WWE Crown Jewel. That's number 5.
Okay.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about any of the crown jewels.
Yes, of course.
There's
That's
so
how
many
much
bad. There's so many bad ones, and I went way back in the archives. I didn't. Even
Yes,
think
it's a pay-per-view for insects, for ants, basically to watch. And Undertaker gets dropped on his head in a tombstone pile driver, and so does
almost died.
So does Goldberg. So that's what you do when you have a pay-per-view run by Stamford Stooges, Marks, a bunch of ants. You see, they're not part of that next level consciousness that we're capable of with me and Kenny Omega.
Sorry, Don. I'm about to start a drinking game. Every time he says ants and consciousness.
Yeah,
you could play at home, folks.
That's what we're capable of from Winnipeg. I think the next one I'll list off for you is the Royal Rumble, where Scott Steiner and Triple H faced each other, and Scott Steiner's thong was showing, and
doesn't surprise me that you were going to choose it, to be honest with you.
Oh well, yeah, of course it's absolutely dreadful. Scott Steiner got all blown up. He's not that kind of athlete like Kenny Omega is. He doesn't get Kenny Omega doesn't get blown up like Scott Steiner does. Kenny Omega just moves.
Thank you. Sorry, I try not to do that.
I see a special gift in Kenny Omega's eyes, and that's something Scott Steiner doesn't have because he gets all blown up.
But is he a mathematician like Scott Steiner is?
You actually have me there, but let you know I am professional wrestling's only PhD, and I'm also a helicopter pilot. If you didn't know, I worked for the Canadian CIA as well. The more you know.
Canadians in aircrafts.
I swear. Yeah. I hope that Frank or Kyle or Jeremy comments on this because they gotta get insulted in this shit.
Oh yeah, of course. Working for the Canadian Secret Service.
George, I hope George comments on this shit.
Well, I'm gonna move. I guess this is more or less a race to the bottom, if you really think of it.
Okay.
And I guess number 3 is going to be WCW Nwo Uncensored. I think there was even some sort of degrading beauty contest that went on in there. Something about toilets and motorcycles and women and something of that nature, and truck driving. And it involves Eric Bischoff making out with a woman, I'm trying not to be offensive. I'll just say Eric Bischoff's making out with a woman.
Was that 97 or 96?
Around that time, and she was sitting on top of a toilet at some point. There was a line of toilets and some sort of toilet comedy and trucker comedy and motorcycle rider comedy. It was not that. Oh, and all the babyface wrestlers didn't have their theme songs. Only the heel wrestlers came out to their theme songs, but every single babyface that came to the ring has a voiceover of an NWO announcer talking about, oh, this little pipsqueak, this little weakling as he comes to the ring. Yeah, it was. I understand it's run by the bad guys, but you're kind of taking away from the whole experience when you remove the theme song and just have somebody diss them and bury them the entire time.
Yeah.
So that's why that's on the list. This is the race to the bottom, you guys, pretty much. The race to the bottom.
Okay. Number 2.
Yeah. I guess number 2, I might go with WCW New Blood Rising. That's the one. That's the Judy Bagwell on a forklift match pay-per-view.
Oh yeah,
it was called.
Yes.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Just that match alone, even if the rest of that pay-per-view was good, that match alone would have made it still on this list.
Exactly. I think
was that 2000?
the Viagra, maybe around that time. I know there was also a Viagra on a pole match involved in there. Was that Shane Douglas and Billy Kidman? Yeah.
Was
You
that
know.
was that Russo's creativity?
Oh yeah, both of those things, both of those
It
matches.
surprised me that it sound like Russo's creativity. Right?
Yeah, the Viagra no pole match. You know, and then I guess
No
probably
drum roll.
number
Wah, wah.
wah wah wah.
Horn.
Yeah, it's part of that low level consciousness we're talking about. You know, pay-per-view for ants. You know, more or less.
Gotta drink of that, gotta drink.
It's
I got some of that. I forgot what the word for coffee in Spanish is. Is it just Java?
Cafe.
Cafe.
Oh, so cafe. Yeah. Okay.
I think it's the same thing in French and in Saudi, in the Middle East as well. You know,
You
you
learned
know, of
something
course,
today.
I'm a man of, you know, I'm a man of the world, if you didn't know, especially. So I know these things, you know,
Yes.
wrestling's PhD. So number one, WCW Greed, you know, more or less, very matches aren't fun at all. I know Sunny was really out of it. You know, I don't want to talk about her demons, but she really didn't give her best. She had a different name around this time period. And, you know, the angle wasn't working out. And there was a lot of just matches that, you know, you could just skip, give 1 star to, you know, guys not giving their 100%, just top to bottom. It's not, you know, really worth your time. So, of course, you know, we're capable of next level consciousness. This is more a roadmap of what you should avoid, of course. You know, you don't want to be, we want to be gods amongst insects, not insects amongst insects.
Oh, he didn't say it though. All right.
Yeah, we're not going to be like the ants or the
All right,
maggots.
now you said it. Now, all right, now I'm drinking it.
Yeah, it's something very educational for everybody. So
Every time the Mets is ends, we gotta drink.
Yeah.
yeah, Matt Callis.
Right. So you have any
come to
honorable
win-
mentions?
It's more like
Matt Callis.
You know, honorable mentions is reserved for a whole different type of thing, not for the god of pro wrestling like Kenny Omega. You know, so
Okay, so no honorable mentions.
good.
no, not even
Okay.
worth our breath, because it's for
Okay.
insects. It's for ants.
Jesus Christ. Hold on.
Oh wait.
Chris, you gotta take a chug. He said answer.
I'm not fucking coffee.
I
right
forgot.
now.
I have to laugh like Don Callis too. I have to laugh like Don
You know
Callis
how he
too.
laughs like.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So there you go. Matt Callis. His list.
Oh, of course. Next level consciousness.
I'm telling you, Dr. Show is gonna be jealous of you, bro. I'm telling you that right now. All right, let's get back to the wheel, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's see who goes. Once again, let's see who is the next person. Spin the wheel of names.
Huh.
The
Jesus
one and
Christ.
only. The
Yeah,
one
all right.
and only.
Let's do this.
Oh my God. Let's see. All right.
All right. So I only have one honorable mention, which I added at the last second here because someone said something that reminded me of that event, but they didn't actually talk about it.
Okay.
I had to bring up a couple of Wikipedias just to kind of keep myself on pace on which one is which. Number 5, I think was match number 1, is that sold out 1997. It was just it was a whole gimmick pay-per-view where the NWO, much like in real life, was running shop. I mean, the prisoners were running the asylum, and that's essentially what this pay-per-view was. But it
The
was
ants were running the ant hive.
Fuck. Yeah.
Jeez, oh man.
There might have been some good matches on there, but it was completely overshadowed by the most insane main event, which was a tag team title match for the singles heavyweight championship, I believe, where the winners of the tag team title match would become the contenders for the world heavyweight championship.
Is that what it was?
For short, Chris,
It was some
crappy
weird
booking.
Yeah, it was some weird stipulation where most people at the top of the NWO roster didn't want to put anybody over, so they had to find ways around that, like the Finger of Doom, and you know, just it was an idea, but that's all that it was. I give them credit for coming up with something, but not this, which is why it's number 5 and not number 1. Number 4, and I think this is the correct pay-per-view. I if I'm wrong, I think I'm not wrong. It was one of the, if not this particular Hardcore Justice, but it was the ECW reunion in TNA where they couldn't get most of the bigger names to come back, but they did their best. I think it was the 2010 version of it. I think that was it.
It was 2010 version.
And
horrible.
Based on the roster and the matches, it should have been better, but something felt very much like when WWE tried to do the ECW return. This was like a tribute pay-per-view, and it just fell short. A little bit soulless, a little bit forced. Had a lot of classic wrestlers on it. It just was just a little bit less. I don't know. It was just missing something that it didn't feel like the energy level was there. I guess you could say that's the best way to put it. It seemed forced. It seemed like this was just Dixie Carter cash grabbing off of what WWE had done with One Night Stand, and it just didn't land anywhere near the bullseye.
No.
A for effort because I love ECW, but that's also why it's not higher up on the list. It wasn't the worst pay-per-view on the list, but it might have been the worst reunion for ECW.
That was the worst reunion of all, in my opinion. I think the WWE pulled it off the best one.
The one they did at the Hammerstein Ballroom.
2005, 6, right?
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was, that for a hardcore ECW fan who was to this day still against a bastardization of the hardcore icons, that was still not that bad. Number 3 is going to be okay. This was going to be all right. I'll put this on there. Halloween Havoc 1998. I don't know if any of you were watching this when it happened.
Damn it! that's two
Ultimate
already.
Warrior.
2 already. That's why I love you because minds think alike.
I was watching this live, and my theory is what happened was the main event was Goldberg and DDP. They had been building this up. Goldberg was still, I believe, undefeated, had the world championship. And how many minutes? About 10 minutes into it, the feed just cuts. And everyone's like, what happened to the rest of this match? And then they apologize on Nitro the next day saying there was a technical issue. We're sorry. Here's the rest of that match. I call bullshit. There was no technical issue. They cut that match to make us tune in on Monday. They took our pay-per-view money. They know they did it. They fucked us over. And they forced us to watch Nitro to win the ratings war that night. There's no way you can convince me otherwise. There was no technical issue. It was all planned. Smart and insidious at the same time. Completely scummy, no class. A lot of people got their refunds, thank God. But yeah, that was just poor taste and shitty tactic. And that's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Right.
That one was Hogan and Warrior, man.
No, what I'm talking about was Goldberg DDP was the main event.
Yeah. Oh wait, that was 98. No, I thought that was 96, right?
No.
The Hogan Warrior was 96.
Okay.
Yeah. Mine was 98. Yeah, mine was right in the middle of mine was dead center of the Monday Night Wars.
Okay.
You got me worried there. I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, no, I got confused. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I messed up. So, did I say for the sold out was that tag title match that was for the singles heavyweight championship? That was wrong. That pay-per-view was still bad where it was, but Bash at the Beach 99 was the tag match for the heavyweight title, which was Randy Savage and Sid Vicious versus Kevin Nash and Sting. And it was a tag match for the heavyweight title where if the winners won, then they were the people fighting for the title. I apologize. Sold out was still bad, and it stays on the list. But this is number 3 for that very reason alone. I had Bagwell with Judy Bagwell versus Rowdy Piper with Ric Flair, which is a boxing match with actual referee Mills Lane in there. David Flair beat Dean Malenko in a singles match for the United States title. What the absolute fuck was that? I don't understand what that was all about. Just bad. I apologize. I got those 2 main events mixed up, but this is definitely like a weird fucking main event that
only means they're not memorable, Chris. There's nothing to apologize for.
the word infamous exists for a reason, and this is definitely a reflection of that. All right, let's go deep down the rabbit hole on this one. This is going to be UFC number 33, and let me tell you why. This was the first, but when I say this is the first sporting event after 9/11 happened. This happened 20 days after 9/11. Literally the same month as 9/11. America was not ready for sports entertainment, or sports or entertainment. Dana White had just bought the company from SEG, Semaphore Entertainment Group. They just spent like $8 million on it. It was him and the Fertittas. This is the first pay-per-view that was finally commissioned by a state athletic commission, the Nevada State Athletic Commission. UFC had been going downhill. They'd been fighting an uphill battle against commissions. They were getting blackballed. They were getting banned from pay-per-views. They were getting kicked out of arenas. This was their moment to show that the UFC could thrive under new ownership, and they decided to run this event 2 weeks after 9/11 in Vegas. The world was not ready. They thought this would be their favor, get their people's minds right, kind of unite the country. It was riddled with issues, that being one of them. The timing was terrible. It was supposed to be exciting. There was only 2 finishes on the entire card out of 7-8 matches. They were on the prelims, so most people didn't even see those. It was, I mean, you have guys like Chuck Liddell, Matt Serra, Jens Pulver, guys who were known for finishing fights and being exciting in the least exciting card of all time. And to put a terrible exclamation mark at the end of it, the main event was Tito Ortiz versus Vladimir Matyushenko, which neither one of those guys acted like they wanted to fight or finish their opponent. And it actually went into pay-per-view overtime. And I think it got cut for time and has since been many people's, including Dana White's, worst UFC of all time. And this could have been the death song for the company.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It could have been the nail in the coffin. It could have just, so many things were working against them. And I mean, they tried to do something and it just didn't work out. And thank God they recovered and became the most profitable sports entertainment or sports organization in the world. I mean, up there. I mean, they sold to I forget the name of the group. MEA. They sold for $4 billion, which is fantastic. That's crazy, you know. But it took them 20 years later. Literally almost 20 years later.
And just knowing that the net worth of UFC is that much, probably more right now, the value of it is like.
Yeah, it's up. They're up there with like Vince as far as like that purchase alone. Holy shit. Number one. Number one is going to be on a lot of your people's lists. If it's not, I win.
What do you mean, you people?
You people.
Tropic Thunder.
We talked about this before, but this whole entire card deserves to be number one. It should just not have happened, and that was Victory Road 2011. Yeah. Put your hands up if it's on your list. Just spoil it. Yeah? All right, cool. Let's do sick. The main event alone, we've talked ad nauseum about it, so I don't want to get too deep into it, but it was where Jeff Hardy got hammered before the match with Sting. They still let him walk out to the ring. I think it was Bischoff, or came out and just said, fuck this. Sting, just pin him. Was the end of an era, per se, for Impact. I mean, technically, it was TNA. It was definitely TNA at the time. And this was definitely like just the doors were slowly closing on the elevator. They needed to do something after this. Luckily, Dixie Carter got the fuck out of Dodge. And I think Billy Corgan picked it up sometime after that and became Impact and is sort of now, at least in the past 6 months, thoroughly thriving. Thank Christ. But this could have been the very last time we saw
this year, you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, Corgan tried to save it as whatever was left after Bischoff and Hogan.
Yeah.
Corgan couldn't do much. It was already done by the time.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. But, I mean, people trying to do their best. Their passion for the product.
I give them credit where credit,
especially having to undo what was did. That was one Etch-a-Sketch that was really hard to undiddle, Home Slice. And they eventually sort of did. The pandemic didn't help because the storyline with the doors open between AEW and Impact, if there was crowds involved in this, it would be off the charts. It would be insane. It would be. It would be just way, way, way better. But they're doing the best they can, and thank God they're thriving right now because we need alternatives to mainstream wrestling.
Yes, and thank God for Anthem. You know, Anthem. I think this is called Anthem. I guess. Yeah, they're the ones who was major owners of Impact Wrestling. So
Don Callis makes it
Dixie only
happen.
has like 10%.
Don Callis makes it happen.
Yes.
Yeah, of
Yes,
course.
Matt
That's why it's
Callis.
called Impact Hard to Kill. Chris Jericho gave it that name.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Impact
And, I
is
mean,
hard to kill.
That's my list. I stand by that list. Those are 5 pay-per-views, 5 or 6. I think I don't even know.
Did you have your honorable mention or?
I may have deleted something and replaced it with something, and then just kept it at 5. I'm not going to go back and watch the tape for accuracy. That's my list. Take it or leave it.
I'll tell you guys.
I'm never watching any of those pay-per-views, and neither should you.
I would not
Ever.
watch those pay-per-views.
So I'll share this with you guys. You know what, Chris? You were talking about 9/11, like around like something that happened near 9/11. The launching of XM.
Literally 20 days, like.
Guess
17
what was
days.
supposed to happen on September 12th, 2001.
Oh,
It was the launch.
in WCW.
No, it was the launching of XM satellite radio, and there was supposed to be this big worldwide event with multiple concerts in multiple cities. But because of 9/11, XM satellite radio wasn't as big as it was supposed to be in our timeline. So there's an alternate universe where XM satellite radio is a whole other thing. I mean, this is part of that next level consciousness that I have.
Right.
So.
Yep. But speaking of
No,
that,
that's something. Yeah, that's crazy. That's,
did he say ants?
no.
Okay,
Don't
good.
remind him. Jesus Christ. I don't have
Okay.
much coffee left, and I'm already wired. You can tell when I don't put periods in my sentences.
Hey, what? It's part of that next level
When you
consciousness.
get me on the MMA podcast, dude, I do not take breaks. I don't breathe in minutes.
No, he doesn't breathe. But yes, and speaking of audio, you could also remind our viewers as well as subscribers. You can listen to us on Spotify, on Anchor, on Breaker, Pocket Cast, Apple Podcast, all those, and Podbean,
CSS something.
RSS.
Sirius XM? Is that what you were talking about?
No, we're not there yet. We're
I
almost.
know, it's all good, dude. It's all good. They take a percent anyways, so it's all.
Yeah.
And we'll speak in future tense, of course. It's all part of the plan.
All right, so let's go back to the wheel. All right, here we go. Let's see where the last one goes. Oh, here comes the money. Here it comes.
Here we go.
Here comes the money.
There's this machine that shoots money
Oh,
all
I see
over
that.
the
that.
place.
For the gun, the
See,
Supreme
Yes,
gun.
I'm gonna have to get
Yes.
that. So here we go. My list starting at number 5, Vengeance 2003. Yeah, exactly, Ivan. It's
I want to know
hard.
why, because I'm trying to remind me who was the main event.
It was crap. I don't even think I remember.
It's not worth remembering because
It's
it's
not
a
worth
paper
remembering.
for ants.
I remember that. Okay, the only thing worth remembering about this pay-per-view was John Cena versus The Undertaker. Okay.
Okay, I think this is where it was Kurt Angle, Big Show, and Brock Lesnar.
Oh yeah, and Brock Lesnar as the main event.
Yes.
Angle, I believe, won the title there.
Yes, he did.
Okay, so
You're making this sound like a great pay-per-view, by the way.
right,
I'm shocked that he's saying that it wasn't the best pay per view.
I
Mike,
found that-
he pulls me to his side. I love Mike's one of the few people, with all due respect to the rest of you, that can actually make me look at something and be like, "Oh, I agree with you," and I didn't before.
The proof's in the pudding.
Oh man,
and what a pudding it is, because it could have been so it could have been such a great pay-per-view. It had so much of the potential nowadays, right? You hear Cena and Undertaker, like, whoa, but at the time Cena was not who he is today, and he still was on the way up. But it's just, for me personally, it was kind of a boring pay-per-view. It lacked in star power of the time. I feel like it just, the whole brand split, maybe for myself, was kind of, it took away a lot of stars. There was, I think the draft had happened just barely, and SmackDown pay-per-views and Raw pay-per-views were exclusive. So this was exclusively SmackDown. So that's why
Ric
I feel
Flair on Raw and Vince McMahon on SmackDown. I think that's what it was.
No, this was Bischoff and
Bischoff Stephanie.
Bischoff
Okay.
Stephanie.
already
Yes.
running it.
I remember just being bored, and I remember falling asleep during this one. It's one of the few, but I don't know. It's just one of those few pay-per-views that I just could not finish.
I'm out of words because it's like you fall asleep on a Kurt Angle match. How dare you, Kurt Angle? If you watch this, you better get on him.
Number 4, Great American Bash 2004. Those 2 years in SmackDown pay-per-views in specific were kind of on the boring side to me. I felt that Raw had the better pay-per-views on their own, single, pay-per-views. So a lot of this is kind of just memory of, of just being bored of watching something, much to kind of how it happens nowadays sometimes. Number 3, Cyber Sunday 2006.
Oh my God, I need to look that up because I remember that for some reason.
It was not a good idea then, and it would not be a good idea now. Just the matches that were announced were obviously led to a certain choice. Sometimes it went that way, sometimes it didn't. And when it didn't go their way, you could tell that it was just, it was not the best decision. So a lot of things got screwed up, and it was just an awful concept. And I'm so glad that they stopped doing that sort of thing. It started with Taboo Tuesday, and so yeah. It just was not good at all.
This is why I love my brothers, because we fucking think so much alike.
Yeah.
It's that next level consciousness that we all have.
Consciousness.
Yes.
Absolutely. Number 2 is Crown Jewel. All of them.
All of them. Mm-hmm. I knew you were going to say that, but just like right out
they're
of my
not
mouth,
being
man.
worth
Ivan's mouth.
They're not worth being thought of as one pay-per-view.
What was the one in Australia, the Down Under one?
The Super Showdown.
That was Super Showdown.
That should count as that's like kind of in the same canon as the Crown Royale.
Yes.
Or Crown.
Absolutely.
The Crown Vics. I don't know what it was
Crown
called.
Victoria, Crown. What was it? The chocolate. Oh wait.
It's a Crown Jewel, right? Wow. I don't know about Crown Jewel.
But what are the Ferrero Rocher? Those little chocolates? You've had
I love those.
right?
Yeah, those are.
I love those for those Ferrero. Oh my God, I can't eat chocolate though. I cannot eat chocolate.
Chocolate.
No puedo.
Chocolate.
No puedo. But yes, you were saying.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
No
Okay. Yes, Crown Jewel. It's just a bad idea. Some of the things that went on have happened in these pay-per-views. Matt mentioned Undertaker being, thrown on the top of his head. DX, the whole fiasco there.
Oh my God.
I would not.
Who won that? Was that also a battle royale or World's Greatest Royal Rumble? Was out to that one? The guy who won it was just some guy that no one ever heard of, and they couldn't.
Them getting trapped on an airplane.
Oh no, that was on Crown Jewel. That
was the Greatest Royal Rumble.
But that's still technically a Crown Jewel, per se, because it was held over there.
Right. Braun Strowman won it, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So they couldn't get like Undertaker in it or something like that, or he refused to be in it, so they had to get some other big guy. I forget what the plot was for that.
I forgot. All I know is that Titus slid right under the ring.
It's so bad. We can't stop harping on it. I just love. He had no choice but to run with it, and he's made fun of himself multiple times because that's the only way to take the steam off of that, man.
Exactly.
Which is
the guy goes from winning Father of the Year awards to that, and
to blooper of the year.
Yeah. God damn.
And that there's that moment, and also the match DX versus Brothers of Destruction, that did not happen in their prime. It did not happen in the Attitude Era. Shawn was on his way out, Kane was on his way in, right?
Yep.
So it's a shame that it didn't happen then, and that it had to happen at that time. They brought out Shawn Michaels out of retirement just for this match. It was a bad, terrible idea, but Saudi Arabia flew a plane full of money over there at Vince's garage, left it there so they could pay Shawn Michaels for this. Exactly. Yes. Anywho,
I would have done it, but yeah, I feel you.
You see, WWE just looks to make money. We make history.
Yes, Absolutely.
Yeah, we haven't made a dime off this podcast.
We make we don't make dimes, Chris. We make history.
If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, of course. We're the peak because the first PhD in professional wrestling. We're all PhDs here. It's that next level consciousness.
Number 1.
We're throwing you off. I'm sorry, bro. I'm gonna zip it.
Number 1 is Vengeance 2001. I did not like that. It could have been so much bigger than what we got. Even Jericho himself showed his disapproval of what happened and everything. First ever undisputed champion was crowned. It could have been so much more. There could have been so much more build up to it. It was rushed. They could have, if they really wanted to crown an undisputed champion, they could have started the tournament at Vengeance and led it up to WrestleMania 18, I think. But no, they rushed it. They did a 4-man tournament, and I'm not saying Jericho doesn't deserve it. He definitely does deserve it.
Oh yeah.
But however, the way he was celebrated, I feel, was, or I don't know, they had the confetti fall down on Stone Cold Steve Austin. And
like they were in Japan, yeah.
And I don't know, it was just it's so lackluster. I remember not liking that at all. They could have done so much more. It could have been done way better.
Interesting, the fact that you mentioned that. I felt that they rushed this because, first of all, Triple H was on his way back. And when he was on his way back, that's when the feud was going to happen between Jericho and Hunter, which they saved it for Mania. So I feel that that's probably what the direction they were going with. That's the reason why they kind of like took it away from Austin Brock and gave it to Jericho to run with it, and have him feud with Hunter at WrestleMania 18. I mean, that's how I felt. But I agree. I agree with you. I agree.
But even then, if they had this in mind since then, a Jericho Triple H feud, and they still got that at WrestleMania. And what was the feud about? Jericho running over Triple H's dog. It came about that instead.
Well, remember he won the Royal Rumble. That's how the feud began, because he won the Rumble that year. And then,
that's right.
Yeah, he won.
I blocked that out of my memory.
Did you know about the original plan, Mike? I was wondering if anybody knew this, but I think in Jericho's podcast, he said that him and Stephanie were supposed to be having an affair in kayfabe.
Oh yeah,
like making out with each other. But I mean, that's what's possible with 3 boys from Winnipeg. Anything's possible with us.
Did he say that he didn't want to go with it? Oh my God! Hold on, did he just really just said that right now?
Look, Kenny Omega wasn't even there.
Kenny Omega was with me in the back watching it and saying,
one-winged angel into everything. Man.
Well, way to go, Chris. That's how. Give it to Stephanie. Show her what Winnipeg's made out of, Chris. You could do the job. You're that boy that I met in the back of that bus on a bus to Alberta.
We called it the dungeon for a reason.
I knew you'd be making out with Stephanie on WWE television.
Don't come for me, Triple H, please.
Oh, he's ran out of HGH.
Oh, Christ.
Oh my goodness.
Do you have any honor mentions?
Two honorable mentions. I'm trying to get through this list. First honorable mention: Royal Rumble 2014. Everybody, this was Daniel Bryan's year. It was easy for them to just have Daniel Bryan in there. Why not? At least put him at number 30. If he was going to lose, then let him lose. Not just erase him off or not even put him in the Royal Rumble match at all. The crowd turned on the match itself. As soon as Rey Mysterio came out as number 30, they booed Rey Mysterio. And everybody was so anti-Batista. And I want every once in a while I watch that match, just I don't know, so I could remember that for whatever reason. But yes, so I do think it was awful, it was terrible, hard to watch, but fun to watch actually. Anywho, Second honorable mention is UFC 151.
Yo, let me bring that up real quick.
You can't.
Go for it. Explain why.
Oh, shut up, you motherfucker. Dude, I wasn't going to argue with you. I just wanted to debate with you on it, but there's no debate on this one.
No debate.
I solely don't exactly blame John Jones on this one. This wasn't exactly his fault. Tell the story. It's your list, and then I'll chime in when you're done with the
Sure.
quick thoughts.
So here's what happened. John Jones, honestly, I forgot who he was supposed
Chael
to.
Sonnen.
Oh no. He was scheduled to fight Dan Henderson.
Yeah, exactly.
Dan Henderson got injured, and then there was this whole not conspiracy, but this thought that Chael Sonnen and Dan Henderson were in cahoots to get Sonnen, who had been talking crap about John Jones on Twitter.
Everybody in the division, yeah.
Or yeah, pretty much, because he had lost to Anderson twice at that point. So the thought was that Henderson and Sonnen were in cahoots to get Henderson out of there, Sonnen in, to beat John Jones, which kind of seems kind of ridiculous given what happened ultimately. But for this one, for UFC 151, Dana White basically gave the decision to John Jones: fight Chael Sonnen, or this entire card gets canceled. John Jones did not fight Chael Sonnen. He chose not to fight him. I really think that he could have beaten Chael at the time, but who knows? Were they in cahoots? That's the real question. We don't know. To this day, hasn't been revealed. They say that they weren't, but who knows, right? But yeah, some people say John Jones should have taken the fight. I do. Others say that he did the right thing. He was scheduled for one thing, but I honestly feel that Henderson and Sonnen have similar styles. That's why I feel like it could have been, it would have been just fine. But hey, it is what it is.
So that never happened at all. That event never happened.
Everything got canceled.
Okay.
Jones did what I think was a smart move for such a high level athletic competition for a title shot. It's completely unfair for Dana White to have held basically contractual blackmail over his head like that, saying that if you don't fight on 2 or 3 days notice against an opponent you are not ready for. And you can always argue, oh, you have to always be ready so you don't have to get ready. That's fucked. There are game plans involved in this. Dan Henderson is a much better version of Chael, in my opinion, in all fronts, whether it's on with the fists or the ground game. But to hold this whole thing over John Jones's head like it's his fault he didn't take a last-minute title fight is absolute bullshit. And what I would like to have seen was, did they give the same offer to Chael? They could have said, like, Jones doesn't want to fight you. We'll make it a non-title match. We still need a main event. How about Chael versus somebody? Did they do that for Chael? No, they did not do that for Chael. I feel like they used Jones as a scapegoat to cancel the entire card because Dan fell out. That's just my thoughts on it. Benefit of the doubt, Jones did the smart thing because he did end up going to barely beating Chael Sonnen when he did fight him. Chael could have been the champ if that round did not end when it ended. Long story short, Jones's toe fell off, literally fell off. It dug into the mat, came off, skin, bone, out of the meat. And if the ref had seen that before the end of the round, they would have stopped it via TKO, doctor stoppage. Chael would have been champ by default. Holy fucking shit, that would have been a crazy fight. But no, completely unfair for Dana White to be like, either fight, put your life on the line on a day's notice, or we're canceling the whole card. Completely unfair. Painted in the media as Jones's fault. Disagree.
But credit to Sonnen that who was able to step up on 1 day's notice, right?
Yeah, what does Chael have to lose? A bunch of money in a title fight against a guy who he's probably not going to beat anyways, or he might have beat him. You never know. I mean, Chael had just tapped Chael Sonnen. Shogun, like recently. I think that was like right before that. That was his first fight up at 205 after the Anderson fights. So he had some confidence. Was it after?
It was right after the Anderson fight. So he had lost the title shot.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is after he beat Anderson, but before this Jones thing, he had beaten Shogun up at 205. No?
The Shogun thing happened after Jones.
Okay. Well, still proves the fact that Chael could do well in both divisions. So his confidence was never in question. and he had nothing to lose, even if he did lose the fight. So, yeah, just, you know, it is what it is. People were sort of picking on Jones for that one. They could have replaced that entire main event. They could have put something together. Make somebody else have a 2 days notice, you know, main event. Bring in, I mean,
I guess
I'm
maybe
looking,
like
I'm looking at the card right now. I mean, obviously you can't make Jake Ellenberger versus Jay Huron a sellable pay-per-view event, but you could have just done it. I mean, Michael Johnson, Danny Castillo at the time would have been nice on the main card. Just, yeah, that's just my thoughts, man. I still don't think that was entirely Jones's fault and completely little fucked.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. So also, you can also catch our MMA episodes. We will be having.
Oh yeah, that's where I really shine.
Of course. So we are going to have one coming up 2 weeks. So keep an eye on that. All right. So I guess I'm the last one, right? So.
Oh yeah, you still got your list.
Yeah, number 5. I can literally say this was the worst WrestleMania of all, and that is Wrestlemania 9.
Oh. Was that at Little Caesars with Bill Alfonso and
Giant Gonzalez?
The Bret Hart Yokozuna bullshit?
The Giant Gonzalez.
Oh my God.
One.
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan didn't want to like lose to Bret Hart.
One-eyed Hulk Hogan.
No, that one pretty much Hogan pretty much threatened.
This was at Little Caesars.
Yes.
Oh my God, it was. Yes. And Bill Alfonso was the ref.
Yes.
Why do we know this?
I don't think it was at Little Caesars.
Caesar's Palace.
It was at Little Caesars Pizza Palace, bro.
It's really we're talking, Chris. We really are on that next level consciousness.
Dude, we are thinking outside of the pizza box.
Yeah, it really is that next level consciousness, Chris.
I'm posting that right now.
But yes, the WrestleMania 9 was a disaster. I know that Vince did spend a lot of money on that to make it happen. He took a risk on it. First time ever to do a venue an outside venue like that in Nevada, and especially, Sin City. And,
it was an outdoor event. Everybody was dressed like they were,
yes.
Caesar's gods. I don't know, kingdom, whatever the fuck it was called, empire, Roman Empire. Yeah, they all had
togas,
gold, the fans, the palm fronds, the whole shebang, man.
Yeah,
it was a beautifully attempted event. What happens inside the arena was not good.
No.
Why am I doing the Donald Trump thing? What is this?
It's gonna be huge.
But overall, there's a lot of stories, different stories of especially about the main event. One person says this about Hogan threatened Vince, or Vince decided to actually give Hogan the belt because Hogan was leaving to make, I think, Suburban Commando. I don't know what movie, and he was going to give him the belt to go.
I love
the European tour.
That movie, by the way, with Christopher Lloyd and Shelley Duvall. It's a good ass movie.
Because they give him the belt because he was going to do the European tour, and they didn't want Yokozuna to have it as champion. So I mean, it sucked because you kind of took away Yokozuna's, moment of fame, winning the belt, main eventing, and being, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's like one of the first Samoans to actually win the actual WWE, title.
I think he was Hawaiian.
He's Samoan.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He's part of the he's part of the Rock family. He's his
related to Rikishi.
Yeah. I know, yeah.
But he was the first one because Snuka never won it. He never won a title at all. Or Peter Chief Maivia. Not that I know of. I don't think he ever won a belt. But yes.
Oh, he's born in San Francisco. My bad. All right. I thought he was born in Hawaii.
Yeah. Number 4. We all mentioned it. Yeah. Halloween Havoc, 1996, the Hogan and Warrior one. That was like a horrible pay-per-view. I think the main event was just itself. Try to repeat history of what happened in WrestleMania 7 between these two individuals. Was it 7? No, it was 6, right? 6. Oh, 6. I'm sorry. WrestleMania 6. But yeah, you can't repeat history all over. You can't. And it was just a disaster. Just seeing Hogan burning himself, trying to light the matches up under the fireball on Warrior, and he burned himself. And
oh Jesus,
it was just horrible. It was just the whole match, the whole concept was just in the hype for no reason. Everybody remember the hypes when Warrior would show up, all the fog will come out, he'd come out of nowhere, and then he disappears. Like, it was like such weird, it was just a weird build up to that story. And then the way how that ended, it was just ridiculous. And then from there, I think the next day he never showed up. I think after that, on Nitro, he never showed up after that. Number 3, yep, the one we spoke about earlier, that's the Victory Road Tna, 2011. Yes, you know, Jeff Hardy, he pretty much destroyed TNA at that moment, and I think that's when Dixie Carter's daddy was like, "All right, I need to sell majority shares of my shit because you ain't doing nothing with this damn company." And it is true, she did not do shit. She didn't. So it was bound to happen. After AJ Styles left, went to Japan, they lost every. In my opinion, I feel that even though Sting was like their heart and soul for TNA, but AJ was as well. So AJ leaving, going to Japan, hurt him the most. And I feel that they really have no. They were trying to be another WCW, in my opinion, just bringing the old folk like the main event Mafia. I know people like them. I'm not hating on them, but it's just like you're giving them more TV time, and yeah, it was just disaster. It's just horrible. But yeah, number 2 would be the TNA, the Hardcore Justice that you brought up. Yes, it was trying to remnants of what WWE ECW back in 05-06. You can't remake something that's already been done already. You can't remake history that was already prior done, especially for ECW. The bad part is, why? I know you're doing these guys a favor. No pun intended to Dreamer or anyone, not hating. Of course, you're doing them a favor. You're pretty much paying tributes to them. Kudos to that, but they should not be doing it anymore. I think that's enough. I'm just done with it, and I hope they don't do it on Impact at all. I just hope they don't. Don't not bring this. Try to relive this in one night. Oh yeah, one night pay-per-view. All the ECW guys. No, man. Let that rest. Let them rest. We don't need to see that anymore. No, done with that. All right. Number 1 that people forgot to mention this one. You guys did not have this on your list.
Oh my God.
This is the one.
You have a number 1 we didn't talk about. This is exciting news.
This is the one that you guys never talked about. And that is 2006. December to Dismember.
I almost, it's on your list, wasn't on mine. It was on my.
I am surprised you guys didn't put this in your list.
It was on my my list of 20, and I didn't pick it. So thank you for covering
that. One of the worst pay-per-views WWE/ECW has ever produced, from the beginning of the match, from the beginning of the card all the way to the end. The sad part about it that this Heyman lost control and he left. He took the ball and he left the show and never came back after that. He knew that shit because Vince came in and just changed everything over. It was supposed to be CM Punk winning this title. CM Punk was supposed to be winning the ECW title, and he was supposed to be the last 2 with him and RVD. They were supposed to be the last 2 in that elimination chamber, according to Heyman and whatever he was saying. But they switched the direction with Lashley. And then the worst part about it, like Big Show was in this too, right? I think Big Show was in it. That's a defending champion. Yeah. It was just
Lashley versus Big Show, a test. Jesus Christ. RVD, Hardcore Holly, and CM Punk.
Mm-hmm. Sabu was supposed to be in it.
Sabu was supposed to be in it, but then the whole suspension shit happened, and then that was it. He just pretty much took his ball and left too. He's like, screw WWE, So, and yeah, the overall everything was just bad. It was just, I'd never seen a horrible pay-per-view from WWE, but nothing like this. The crowd, if you notice, the crowd was not into that pay-per-view at all. They were just looking at each other like, do we pay money for this shit? What's up with that? We paid so much money for this shit. So, definitely, I would be feeling the same. I paid so much money, hundreds of dollars, just to come and watch this piece of shit pay-per-view. And it was a piece of shit. And I think this is the only one that will definitely hurt Paul Heyman's in his credentials. That I think I'm pretty sure he wants to, not even think about that moment. But I'm bringing it up today, buddy. This is your fuck up. And I know it's not your fault, your full fault, but you were part of it. Sorry.
Yeah, by proxy for sure.
Yes, definitely. So, and then my honorable mention, I'm gonna have to go with with the Greatest Royal Rumble. That one was not. It was a disrespect to the Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah,
Big time. You're breaking a tradition that we have, that we grew up with watching for years, from the beginning of it. So 1981, 83, 84, the beginning, being the first man was Hacksaw Jim Duggan, who was the first Royal Rumble winner. And then it became a tradition. And thanks to the late Pat Patterson creating that, even though they should have called it a Pat Patterson Rumble, but it makes sense calling it the Royal Rumble. So kudos to Pat Patterson, rest in peace, for creating such a...
Like Pat Patterson says, the crowd will go banana.
Yeah. Banana.
Yep.
And so, yeah, this is like an insult. You're literally bringing so many people for a one-night show. You're spending so much money just to fly these people just for a one night and come back home. And for what? To be in the ring for like 5 minutes and then go backstage and just go to the catering. That was it.
Right.
I'm hoping they got paid really well for showing up doing the Greatest Royal Rumble.
According to Jericho, they did.
Okay, so they all got paid very, very good. Okay, well, good. I mean, yeah, even though you only have 5 minutes of TV time, but hey, I guess you got paid for those 5 minutes. Good for you guys. But yes, that was an insult for the Royal Rumble, in my opinion. And like, why would you? And then it doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, you gave the belt to Braun Strowman, the green title belt. Why is he not showing it off? Why, like, what was the purpose? He should have gotten a trophy, not a fucking belt. That's just how I feel. If it was just only a trophy, I mean, come on, you're giving him a belt. I would have given him a trophy, like like the Andre the Giant, Battle Royal, something different like that. You know what I'm saying? Like something that it's just only if they were gonna continue making these type of Greatest Royal Rumbles, then I guess would have given him a trophy or something. I don't know, but it was horrible.
Yeah. And
second honorable mention will be WCW, the Wrestling Slamberry 2000. That pay-per-view overall was a disaster. This is a triple cage match, which David Arquette was the world champion, WCW world champion. And this is where he turned, I believe, on Booker. And this is when
I thought he turned on DDP.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're right. DDP.
For Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, for Jeff Jarrett. That's when he let Jeff Jarrett win the belt. And he just, I think, don't get me wrong, they made the right decision to giving it to Jarrett. But the way how it was just handled, the story, like you couldn't
better than Arquette, that's for sure.
Oh, that's for sure. But it was too late already. You can't fix something that you already broke.
Mm-hmm.
It's too late. Arquette should have not happened. Period. No pun intended. No disrespect to him.
He's better nowadays, but he wasn't a wrestler.
Well, he's got that fantastic documentary.
I love it.
Yeah, you can't kill David Arquette. Like, good for him for really.
Back then it was like
he lives off the reputation of he knows that he was put in a very bad position with that title, that he was just forced into that to push the Ready to Rumble movie, and he's been trying to shake that and become kind of earn his way back into the wrestling fans' graces by really cutting his teeth in the business. He's been doing indie wrestling for the past 20 years. And
he did a death match.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like I said, I have respect for the guy because he has the balls to step in and did what
Yeah, he's definitely working his ass off.
Mm-hmm, definitely. And it's just unfortunate that Bischoff and Russo put him in that, that predicament. They're like, hey, even this is how we're going to promote your movie. We're going to just go ahead and give you the belt. What? It's not how you... It's like...
And he really had no... He couldn't do anything. He's like, nothing he could do about it.
Yeah. I mean, he got paid for it, so might as well. He ran with it. So, ladies and gentlemen, yes, that is my list for these top 5 worst pay-per-views. If you guys have... that we maybe forgot to mention worst pay-per-views, comment right below. Let us know. Which one are your worst pay-per-views that you think that were like the of all time? Let us know. We would like to, hear your comments and, read them and then reply. Now, let's go to the wheel of wrestling, the wheel of picks, which we're going to go ahead
for next week.
For week 43. So now let's go ahead and go to my screen. All right, here we go. Y'all ready?
Spin that wheel.
Y'all ready for this?
Goddamn fucking wallpaper, you motherfucker.
Yes!
Worst gimmick.
Let me go to the books. Take me off full screen here, homie, because I think we've done this one before.
We did worse costumes. We didn't do worse gimmicks. You know.
Is that true?
Yes.
Let me go back to full screen and I'll look it up real quick. I'm pretty.
No, we did worst ring attire.
Is that the list I'm thinking of?
Yeah, but we didn't do gimmicks. We never did gimmicks. We were supposed to, but we never
I believe
did.
you. I believe you. You're El Jefe. I'm El Guapo. I get it.
Yeah. So worst gimmicks.
Or was it like failed gimmicks? Maybe. Hold on.
I'm looking at it. Yeah, I see worst ring attire. I think that was part of a Halloween episode, maybe.
Yeah.
Worst baby faces, worst matches, worst submissions. Yeah. All right. I guess that counts. It's not ring attire because you could be a great at ring attire and a bad gimmick. All right, yeah, I got it. We're good. Okay, just checking the books. I didn't mean to question you.
No, we did worst baby faces, but that we haven't. There's no there's plenty of heels that were pretty horrible. So
one of them's right behind you. One of them's right here.
Yeah,
present.
Wow, worst gimmicks, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, I even have the Wrestlemania 9 logo too.
Right.
A little Caesars.
Put that on the Circle Debate fucking Facebook page. Put that shit. Put it. I want everybody to see that. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow us on Facebook on Circle Debate. We have a group page, which if I'm not on, these individuals will respond to you. Everybody's gonna respond to you.
Yeah, we may all respond as the page, but it will be one of us for sure. I won't say who it is, but it'll be us collectively.
Well, I'm responding as the Invisible Hand, Don Callis.
You will have.
We're all part of that next level consciousness, you know.
You will have Matt Callis respond to you. So in case you hear if you read if you read like a deep voice, hey, this is Matt Callis, then that's him.
Of course. It's that next level consciousness that we're all part of.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoy your Sunday and be watching. You're watching this before Elimination Chamber, by the way. So enjoy Elimination Chamber. We will be watching too. We will be giving our thoughts about it coming up on episode 43, and we'll let you guys know how where did it go, how did it went, but we got a lot more future announcements coming up. But right now we're on. I'm not gonna say yet, but stay tuned. Keep an eye, and we want once again. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. And this is the host of DB's One IBC here with the Westwood Surf with the Generation West, with the director, el director, that is Chris Cannon, one and only. And also the Callus of Calluses, Dr. Show's worst enemy. He is Matthew Callus.
Of course, Dr. Scholes, he's a doctor, but I'm a PhD in professional wrestling. We don't make a top 5. We make history. That's really all part of it. We're gods amongst insects,
And also we have the King of Sting, the Master Disaster, the man with a plan. And I don't know about the LAFC, but okay, I'll go with you. That's me, Mike Lopez. Galaxy, baby. No LAFC right here.
Get out of here, Carson.
Oh, I'm up for Carson, but they were the first LA team. Say anything, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy your Sunday, and we'll see you next week. See you there.